What's shaking, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today we're doing another wipe day guide. I know I have done one in the past, but every wipe you're learning something new. You're thinking about different things when wipe comes up, and this one's no different. I have 15 different bullet points here that I want to touch on, and I want to make sure that you guys can navigate through this video really easily. So I am going to section it off so it's easy. If you guys go to the first tip and you're like, I know that one, you can just fast forward. Today's video is going to be a little bit longer, but I promise you there's a lot of good information here. So grab a coffee, relax, and let's get to it. So all the tips are going to be in random order. There's not really any rhyme or reason to why I say them, except for this one, because I want to make sure that this is the first thing you see. Even if you only watch a minute and a half of the video, you get to this one tip. It's to stop comparing yourself to other people. This is something I get stuck on a lot of times when wipe just comes out. You know, you'll see your favorite streamer or your buddy is like, oh, I'm already level 20 or something. Don't compare yourself to them. It's different for you. It's different for them. You know, they might play more. That's all that it means. They might have more time on. They might have had, you know, lucky raids and no one was hitting a certain area, or they could do quests fast. There's a lot of reasons. Just stop beating yourself up because you're a certain level. Have fun. It's a video game. I know it's Tarkov, and fun doesn't equal Tarkov ever, but it does. Just enjoy this wipe. A lot of times people are rushing to get to the end game to just get to where they were last wipe, and now you have another 5 months to go for the next wipe to happen. So enjoy your time with the game. You know, take your time. You know, the pace you go at is the pace you go at, and don't worry about where anyone else is, because if you do worry about it, you're going to start pushing yourself and you're going to start playing sloppy because you're just like, oh, I have to get this done. Just relax and have fun. Early wipe's so exciting because all those items that don't mean anything to you, late wipe because everything's so cheap on the flea market, it means a lot to you early wipe. So one of the biggest things though that you can find, I would say, are keys for quests or just good rooms. Just keys in general are an amazing find. So say you're dying a lot on a certain quest, or you're like, I just don't want to go to woods right now, or customs. Think about doing a couple of jacket runs. I have two thumbnails over here. There's going to be two thumbnails right here. One's a key run on shoreline, one's a key run on customs. The shoreline one is amazing. And you know what? If you just want to take a break and do some loot runs, think about doing shoreline and add the key run to it, because keys are just so valuable. Once you get the flea market open, you get some of these keys, you can throw them on the flea market for sometimes hundreds of thousands of rubles, and it'll really set you up for the future. So I'm going to put them in the description down below. I'll put the key runs there for you guys. And yeah, I think jackets are just go loot some jackets. That's all I'm going to say. Loot jackets. I'm not going to spend much time on this next tip because, well, everyone tells you it, every streamer will tell you it, your buddies will tell you it, but if you're new, you might not know. Use your scav. That's what they're there for. Once the cooldown gets to 0 and he's available again, use him. It's just free loot that you can grab, free equipment. There's no downsides to using a scav. It's just that they're not as exciting or as sexy as using your PMC. So all I'm going to say is use your scav. Oh, one last thing. I forgot to say this. Don't be a dick on your scav runs. I know you're going to get betrayed. I know you're going to VoIP someone and then they'll pretend to be your friend and then they might grab your loot. But I promise you, later down the road, it sucks for them because their scav timer is super long. Yours is going to be short because you're going to stay positive. In the end, just don't be as dick as your scav. That's all I'm going to be. Don't be a dick. Be a good scav. Early wipe Tarkov and late wipe Tarkov, how you play maps, are two different beasts. Late wipe Tarkov, you know pretty much where you're going to get into the PvP fights. Early wipe Tarkov, you really don't. It could be anywhere. So the biggest thing I want to tell you is the hot zone on a map is anywhere. Like, people are looting everything. So if you're just going to a building because there's 2 duffel bags and you'll be like, no one will be in there, or no one's coming, it's safe. They're coming for that loot. They want that loot too, and they know about those duffel bags. So just be on guard, because you never know where you're going to get into a PvP fight early wipe. The map's a hot zone. The whole map is. Barters are so important early wipe in Tarkov. You know, level 1 barters, just, you know, the things that come to mind are the painkillers, the car med kit, all that stuff. Barters mean a lot early wipe. so that you know, okay, I'll pick this up over this because I know I can barter for this, whatever. One thing I do want to say though is they always change things up, right? Barters are always getting changed. The dealers are always getting changed around every wipe. So take your time. Right when wipe happens, just take a look at the barters that are available currently. They might not be the same as they were last wipe, and they might have changed, so you might have to get some different things. So take a second, go through all the dealers and just see what their barters are now. New players are always asking me for the best advice I can give them, right? And the number one thing I always tell people is to walk and not run in Tarkov. Sound plays such a big part of this game that if you're walking instead of running, you're probably going to get the drop on a lot of people, and you're going to be able to get into position to get the kill. I'm not telling you to never run. You know, if you have to get to from cover to cover, or if you need to, you know, go through an open field or something, definitely run. But most of the time, I'm going to tell you to take your time, walk. You don't have to get out of raid within 10 or 15 minutes. You've got 40-minute raid for a reason. So walk and just take your time. And also the other thing I will tell you is I think headphones early wipe are way more, even late wipe actually, headphones are more important than helmets, I think. Personally, if you don't have as much, or if you don't have a lot of money and you can only afford maybe a helmet or contacts or something, always take the headphones over the headwear. It's just so much more important to hear your surroundings than to protect your old noggin, you know? It's super sexy to have a cool maxed out hideout. I know that, you know, you got your Bitcoin farm going, you got, you know, your workbench maxed out, you got everything going. But you also have to remember that this is a huge money sink that you could have, you know, sold everything on the flea market because people need it. So instead of making money, you're losing money. Now, yes, it does have some positives to it. You can craft certain find and raid items then. You valuable items now you can craft, and things might be super cheap on the flea market because no one has that hideout level available yet. So the need for it is maybe low. But what I will say is, it's just a huge money sink. So unless you're comfortable with getting out of raid, you're constantly making money, don't put a lot of money into your hideout. I know this is controversial and I know a lot of people will be against this, but trust me, it's not going to be beneficial to you if you're not getting out of raids a lot or surviving. So yeah, the first level of everything is pretty cheap and it's doable. I will say that for sure. But just remember that after the first level of everything, things get astronomically overpriced. You know, all those light bulbs or whatever you need could have been sold on the flea market for a lot of money instead of put towards your hideout. And it's not going anywhere. You know, you building this stuff up, you know, a week later when things get cheap isn't going to kill you. So just be smart when you are building up your hideout, because it is going to be a huge money sink, especially early wipe when everyone wants to build up their hideout too. And those items just go for astronomical money. I know we've touched on this in another tip, but I feel like it needs its own section because a lot of people don't quite grasp everything. So the biggest thing I want to tell you is to take your time. You have short raids like factory with 20 minutes, anywhere up to longer raids like 50 minutes with shoreline. You have all that time. You don't got to get out of the raid within 10 or 15 minutes. You can take up all the time you want. As long as the timer doesn't hit 0 and you extract before that, you're good. If you want and you're doing a quest and it's just such a hot zone within the first 10 minutes, I don't care. Lay in a bush if you want. If you want to lay in a bush for 15 minutes so you know that where you have to go for a quest will be pretty dead, do it. It's up to you. But all I'm going to say is you don't have to rush every raid. You can take your time. You can use all the minutes they give you and just make sure that you get out with doing whatever your goal is. That's the tip right there. Take your time. You got a lot of it. You're never going to get empty raids early wipe. Always expect a full server. You know, I know late wipe, you can expect dead raids a lot of times, but nowadays when it's early wipe, every raid is going to be full of people. So because of that, I was going to put this in a separate kind of little tip jar, but you know what? This one's going to be with this one. I'm going to smash them together. Use Mapgenie to learn spawns. Now, I'm not saying to go spawn hunt people to rush spawns and kill them, nothing like that. Just know where people can be and where people do spawn on the map. It's really important. So to do this, you're going to use a website that I highly recommend, and that's mapgenie.io. It's free to use, except for I think you have to subscribe to get Lighthouse and Reserve, but it's pretty cheap. It's like $5 a year or something like that, and it's worth its weight in gold. But Mapgenie tells you spawns, where computers are, where keys spawn. It tells you everything. So use this website and just get familiar with everything. With the servers being so full, you betcha believe in a lot of people's buddies are coming back into Tarkov and they're saying, hey, want to squad up? So there's a ton of squads on every map right now. So when you do kill someone, I know your first, reaction is going to be, I want to jump on them and get their gun and all their loot, but just realize there's probably one more waiting. So instead of jumping on the body, try to flank around, try to get an angle on the body, see where other people would be to get an angle if you were looting them, because there's probably one more. And you know what? Ghost Freak put it the best. If you kill everyone on the map, the loot's not going anywhere. So try to kill everyone first. And here's the other thing, is if they are solo, the loot's probably not going anywhere anyways. Also, another thing to think about is they might not just have another buddy. It just might be you made a lot of noise. So people are rushing that area because they probably know you got into a fight and you might be hurt and they want to get the jump on you. So just take your time when you do kill someone. Always prepare to get into another fight right away. This is early wipe, so just remember to get out, or at least try to, with a full backpack. Don't overlook something. Just because you're used to something being worthless, it's more valuable to have that worthless item take up a slot in your backpack and you sell it for a few thousand rubles than coming out with nothing in that slot in your backpack, right? So my advice to you is try to always get out with a full backpack, unless of course you're doing a quest, which then just get the hell out of there if you complete it. But if you're just doing a loot run, just take everything, and then when you do loot something else and something better comes along, you can be like, okay, I'm going to dump this now, I'm going to dump this. But it's more important to just get those slots filled in your equipment, in your backpack, everything, than it is to just be like, bah, it's only worth a couple thousand. Fill up your backpacks. And then afterwards, when you find other stuff, that's when you worry about what's worthless and what's not. But until then, just fill every slot. Fill those slots, kids. Fill them. Energy and hydration are just so important early wipe because, well, your metabolism skill is only level 1. So you want to make sure that whenever you're in raid and you're below 100% on either of those and you find some sort of food or drink, you want to drink them or eat it right away. Because then you're going to gain skill towards metabolism, and it's probably going to be the first skill you max out, to be honest. But just remember that you do get diminished returns towards skills every raid. So when you do go into your skill menu and you see, well, I'm not gaining really anything because this raid I gained all that I can, still take it. It's still good to have. You're going to lose a lot of hydration, a lot of energy really fast. So it's always good to bring these things into raid with you, even just for the skill points. So just keep an eye on those things and just keep eating and keep drinking. The first big purchase that you're going to want to save up for is the Lucky Scav junk box. This is about 1,000,000 rubles from Therapist, but again, it could change. So you want to make sure you know how much it is right off the bat so that you can start saving up. Now, this is going to be the biggest thing you're gonna buy right away. It's just helps you out so much, and it's a godsend when you do actually have finally the rubles for it. But remember, it's going to cost you pretty much all your money. So just pick the right time to purchase this, but know that the return on investment is quite great because you can start putting a ton of barter items in there, and then later on you can sell them on the flea market and you'll be able to make your money back for sure. But the upfront cost on it is quite expensive, so just be prepared for that. Night raids are something early wipe that are unreal. Most of the time people are just looking to get their quests done during these things or try to pick up a couple of things. They're not really looking to fight most of the time, but there are going to be full servers of nighttime raids. I'm not going to pretend to you like, hey, do a night raid, there's going to be no one on there. There always is people on the map, but most of the time these people are just like you, where you just want to get things done or you just want loot. So if you have a flashlight, awesome, you can go do a night raid, take your time. But if you want NVGs, at least for this wipe, you need to get Peacekeeper level 2 and then Skier level 2, and then you can get the cheap NVGs. And they're a godsend, I'm not going to lie to you. It's actually really cool to start doing night raids, and with the, it looks like night vision changes, it looks like it's going to be pretty, it's going to be pretty cool this wipe. But I do want to tell you another tip about interchange. Now, interchange at nighttime, the surrounding areas are pretty light still, to be honest, but even better, when you get inside of the mall, it's already lit up, so you don't really need a flashlight too much or NVGs. It's already pretty bright in there. So if you want a little less people maybe, or people that are just looting, I would go interchange, but just be prepared for people. I'm not going to tell you night raids are going to be dead and it's just going to be you. There's no maps that are dead or just you. Remember that. I just thought of this tip after I already made this video, so I'm just going to squeeze it in here. But I totally forgot about something coming with this next wipe that's super exciting, and it's going to be so beneficial to everyone, and that's offline co-op mode. They teased it during the last EFT podcast, and the downside is you are going to need Edge of Darkness edition to go offline with your buddies. So it sounds like everyone needs Edge of Darkness, but it's super cool. Now we're going to have offline co-op, so you guys can, you know, if you don't know Lighthouse, you guys can go and explore it together, learn the new area. Use this. It's going to be an amazing tool that has so many benefits for you. And I know as a streamer, I'm just going to use it for chaos with the community and have fun with them. But if you're new to Tarkov, it's going to be an amazing resource for you. I think that was 14 tips, and I am short one. I thought it was 15, but I counted 14. But I'm going to just start from the beginning of where it was, because I think it was such an important tip. Have fun, guys. Wipe only comes every 6 months. It's a big deal. It's exciting for the community. Just make sure you're having fun. Don't get too frustrated or too wound up about where you are in the wipe. You'll get to where you need to go eventually. And yeah, just have fun. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any tips that I missed, hey, put them in the comments below. Listen, we're a community. We want to help everyone out. So I want to hear your tips that I might have missed. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It's free for you guys. It means the world to me. We're going to be putting out a ton of videos for this next wipe. I'm going to really try to make it my goal to hit YouTube a lot harder for you guys. And also, I am going to be streaming 5 days a week, probably more than that when wipe happens. We're going to be on twitch.tv/Geekseh. Come by, say hello, and until next time, I'll talk to everyone later.